Okay, before I bring in Tracy, I just have to point out what a bunch of godless heathens I must work with on this show, because I'm going to ask Tracy, first of all, just to give away the game a little bit, about the Ark of the Covenant. Maybe they have it. And I kid you not, producer Matt, I think it was producer Matt, called, it's right here on my paper, he called the Ark of the Covenant a wooden storage chest. Gosh, these savages. Joining me now, Tracy Beanz, editor-in-chief of Uncover DC. Hey, Tracy, tell me what you know or what you think you know about this wooden storage chest.
How do you do that to me? Really?
I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
Little things like the 10 Commandments are in there, but either way, go on.
Listen, the way that this is being presented to the world is that there were CIA documents that were declassified that explained a remote viewing project where a remote viewer was sent to find this and was able to, and you know, they successfully went through the process of remote viewing and found the box. Now, there's been a lot of talk going on lately, especially since the podcast, The Telepathy Tapes, came out, about human consciousness, what we're capable of, and what's been suppressed for like thousands of years from us to keep us kind of like docile and not realizing, you know, the kind of power we have telepathically or otherwise. I 100% believe this, only because I've done so much work and study into remote viewing and other programs the government has run in that sphere. So that's my comment on it.
Hold on. We are not even going to move on to health stuff until you clarify a couple things for me. What in the world is remote viewing? I need you to break this down in a way that a moron can understand. That would be me.
Remote viewing, it was a project that the CIA did to use psychic people to view targets around the world so that they could then conduct better warfare. And many countries around the world had done this throughout the years. The United States had a program for a very, very long time that checked out. I'll just say people can look into a gentleman named Joseph McGonigal, who was the one who led this program and kind of trained everybody in remote viewing who was capable of doing it. It is an actual real thing that the CIA used for decades. So that's what it is, as per the CIA, who had a program running it forever. I know, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I'm so on the outs with all these things. I don't even know what's going on. I do know what's going on with Bill Gates, though, and I do know that if he's allowed to do the things he wants to do, he'd kill more people than Stalin, Mao, and Hitler combined. Here he is.
As we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible? Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary. We go from less than 1 billion in 1800, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.4 billion where we are today is happening even faster. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem? What we found out is that as health improves, families choose to have less children. And this effect is very, very dramatic. Now, 11 billion people, still a lot, but the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great.
Tracy, there's so much horrific about that. I don't even know where to begin. And I've heard that audio before. I've seen that video before. Just the most basic part of it is, look at all these human beings who now live. How frightening is that? These people really are monsters, aren't they?
They are. And, you know, for him to say we were actually worried about helping people remain healthy because there'd be too many of them, that's the crux of the entire clip right there. It's so many levels of wrong, down to the fact that, honestly, I would argue that Bill Gates is not making anybody more healthy. Literally, no one is more healthy because of anything that Bill Gates has done. I would argue he's decreasing the population because of his, quote, health. So if he wants to pretend for the public's consumption that he's trying to make people healthy, that's fine for him. But he's done the opposite. And thankfully, people are waking up to that more and more every day.
Tracy, RFK Jr. and Bill Gates can't possibly get along with RFK out there talking about possibly banning pharmaceutical ads on television. Now, I don't like turning on the TV and every other commercial being some ad for Zoloft or whatever other weird thing they're pushing, but can he even do this?
He can do it, and I think that it's something that he may be seriously considering. He talked about it on the campaign trail quite a bit. It's almost like you have to put a bunch of disclaimers about how these drugs can hurt you, which is why people are chuckling more and more, because most of the side effects also include death for most of these medications. But big pharma is running media. All of that ad money goes into media, a lot of it anyway. So if that funding goes away, I would be so curious to see which news stations stay on air and which ones don't. I don't know the last time we marketed a drug to people. The rest of the world doesn't do it, save another country. I forget which one it is. There's only one other country in the world that actually markets pharmaceuticals directly to the consumer with pretty green bushes and chirping birds and people dancing around while they talk about how, terrible things will happen to you if you take the drug. Take them off the air. Not needed.
Okay, what's the controversy around soda and Snap? And look, you're the health freak, I'm the unhealthy one, but I will say this is the only health freak contribution I'm gonna make to this conversation. The difference for me with soda or not is 5 to 10 pounds. If I'm drinking it, 5 to 10 pounds up, I don't have to make a single other change. If I stop, 5 to 10 pounds down. So what's the controversy?
So there's a host of other things going on when you're drinking soda outside of weight gain. I'm gonna get on you, but we'll make you into a fit young whippersnapper in no time. But the controversy here is only that the government SNAP benefits that are meant to help support needy families who need food are allowing for the purchase of soda and junk food and all kinds of other stuff. And states have to get waivers to make it so that that doesn't happen anymore. And when you're going out and you're buying soda and you're buying Twinkies and you're buying all this other stuff with tax dollars, my money, I don't want to be feeding a lifetime of metabolic disease, weight gain, diabetes, and everything else, which then makes the person who unfortunately can't afford all of their own food dependent also on government-run healthcare. And it's just a nasty, violent wheel. So nobody's banning soda or advocating for banning soda. People are just saying, we don't want tax funds being used to buy things that are going to ultimately make you more of make you more sick and more dependent. We want to empower you to buy food that is going to make you healthy and less dependent. And that's basically what the goal is.
RFK right now is reviewing baby formula. Now, if you ask my wife, she'll go on a long rant about baby formula, but I'm going to allow you to take the stage here. Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Well, I think it's important for some mothers who can't breastfeed or don't want to breastfeed. The problem is that every single baby formula that was tested by Moms Across America, an organization run by Zen Honeycutt, had heavy metals and some even had other chemicals in them. So 100% of the formulas tested had heavy metal contamination far above the legal limit, which I argue should be 0. So we're not only feeding our babies high fructose corn syrup and all kinds of other nasty stuff, but heavy metals. And so what the HHS is doing right now is saying, we're going to take a look into how the FDA can work to make our baby formula not toxic for babies. Seems pretty common sense to me. People don't realize this, but baby formula at this point in time is sickness formula. It's got a whole bunch of nonsense in it that babies shouldn't really be consuming. So if you can breastfeed, breastfeeding is best. But if you need to supplement with formula, you should be able to buy formula that's actually pure and not contaminated with mercury and aluminum and other metals. That's what that's all about.
Tracy, can you help me understand really quickly before I let you go why heavy metals are in anything at all? I guess I don't understand. There has to be some explanation. Who's creating baby formula and saying, hey, we need to put Metallica in there?
I think that it's more a case of the methods that they're using, the things that they're grinding up were probably treated with chemicals and they're not being, they're not sourcing ingredients well. It's a manufacturing issue, it's a cutting corners issue. It's a nobody's ever going to really notice issue, and they were tested and noticed. So now it's time to fix it. And I would argue that corporations shouldn't be allowed to cut corners to the point where we're getting metals in baby formula, just like you just said. I don't want Metallica in my Similac. So, yeah.
No doubt about it. Nothing else matters after all. Tracy, thank you. I appreciate it. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.